Squid Game wasn't a fictional movie and was inspired by a real story. Yes, Brothers Home at South Korea. Actually, Brothers Home was a welfare facility in Busan, South Korea, that operated from 1966 to 1988. Initially intended to provide shelter and care for vagrants, orphans, and people with disabilities, the facility became notorious for its poor conditions, mistreatment of residents, and human rights abuses. The facility was part of a larger system of vagrant detention facilities, established by the South Korean government in the 1960s. These facilities were designed to cleanse society of people considered symbols of poverty and disorder. Brothers Home was the largest of these facilities, with over 3,000 residents at its peak. Residents of Brothers Home were subjected to forced labor, physical and emotional abuse, and torture. Many were also forced to take antipsychotic medication as a form of chemical restraint. The facility's director, Park In-jun, was accused of embezzlement and corruption, and was eventually sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. In the 1980s, the South Korean government began to crack down on vagrancy in preparation for the 1986 Asian Games and the 1988 Seoul Olympics. This led to an increase in the number of people detained at Brothers Home and other facilities. The abuses at Brothers Home were eventually exposed in 1987, after a prosecutor launched an investigation into the facility. The investigation revealed widespread human rights abuses, including arbitrary detention, enforced labor, torture, and sexual violence. The legacy of Brothers Home serves as a reminder of the importance of protecting human rights and preventing abuse and exploitation of vulnerable populations. Media says that Squid Game was inspired by the tragic story of Brothers Home.